The downfall of Chevy Chase, the most insufferable comedian of all time. Chevy Chase started his career like many comedians, running around and trying everything he could. Finally, his work paid off. He became a writer for a show called Saturday Night Live. Shortly before the show first aired, Chase was added to the cast and joined rehearsals. This became his big break, putting him squarely in the spotlight. He introduced every show but two, and was the anchor for Weekend Update, one of the show's longest-running bits. His catchphrase "I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not" became extremely famous. He even claimed that his Weekend Update style was the direct inspiration for later comedy news programs like The Daily Show. During the show's run, Chase won 2 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe for his work on the show, and many have argued since that he defined the franchise. Chase was a hit at the time, and was shortlisted by many as one of the funniest rising comedians in America. Chevy left SNL a few episodes into the second season, the reason for which is still unclear. Chase's official story claims that his girlfriend didn't want to move out to New York, so he decided to move out to LA and marry her. That story is somewhat backed up by the fact that he'd negotiated out of most of Season 2 in his contract with NBC, surprising producer Lorne Michaels. However, there's still suspicion surrounding the episodes he was in. Supposedly, he injured his groin doing a pratfall in the first episode, forcing him to be hospitalized for the next 2 episodes. However, as eagle-eyed fans noticed, the injured Chase was very clearly seen at the end of the first episode dancing around without any issue. Many have theorized that the episodes were a test run, to see if the show could work without Chevy, in anticipation of him leaving. Years later, an anonymous SNL cast member mentioned that he only used his engagement as an excuse to pin it on his now ex-wife. In reality, he'd left the show purely out of a desire to make more money. But why would the show want to see one of its most popular actors gone? Well, as it would later come out, Chase was a massive pain to work with. Egotistical, cruel, and petty, he burned a lot of bridges with his fellow cast members, as well as producer Lorne Michaels. When he returned to host in Season 3, Chase reported the atmosphere felt poisoned against him, and he certainly didn't help himself by ordering people around, and trying to reclaim his spot on Weekend Update, all while using a frankly terrifying amount of substances. Bill Murray, Chase's replacement, was antagonistic towards him, telling Chase frankly that no one there liked him, leading to a shouting match. Murray then told Chase, "Go F your wife, she needs it." All of this culminated into Chase hunting Murray down minutes before the show, and challenging him to a fist fight. If you look closely at Chase's monologue, you can see some marks on his face from where Murray hurt him. Chase would go on to host 8 more times, racking up more and more problems every time. He'd harass female writers, make cruel jokes, like telling an openly gay cast member he should do a sketch about dying from AIDS, and generally just be a jerk to everyone involved. This came to a head in 1997, when he slapped Sherry O'Terry hard in the back of the head, causing a furious Will Ferrell to bring the issue to Lorne Michaels, who banned Chase from the show. Chase was the 12th person to be banned from SNL, and the only former cast member to ever be banned from hosting. Although he's made a few guest appearances on SNL since, they're kept few and far between, and the hosting ban has been enforced. Chase would initially find success striking out on his own, starring in a number of classic comedies. However, Chase's success wasn't for long. He has been in a total of 62 different movies and TV shows, most of which are awful. There's just no other way to put it. He milked National Lampoon's Vacation for 6 total movies, with the quality going downhill each time. He also tried to launch his own celebrity talk show, which bombed and was cancelled just 4 weeks in. His most recent movie in 2021 was Panda vs. Aliens, which is, it's exactly what you'd expect. After Chase's initial success, he made bomb after box office bomb, with the failures seriously damaging his ego. He'd reportedly talked a lot of crap at SNL about how everyone else had no chance at a career, so seeing his former castmates all become more famous than him had to sting. Chase's one big hit later in life was Community, a show where he played a self-centered egotistical old man with some seriously dated views. It's like the role was made for him. Members of the cast have been frank about how they only got a celebrity like Chase for such an unknown show because of how far Chase had fallen, and as the show turned into a surprise hit, it seemed like it might be his ticket back to the top. However, Chase had serious issues on set. His toxic behavior continued, and he had serious issues with director Dan Harmon. At one point, he even refused to do a pivotal scene on the last day of filming, which required scrapping the entire scene. Harmon then made fun of Chase at the wrap party, playing some of the angry voicemails Chase had left him. Chase then left another angry voicemail, which Harmon played at a live event. Eventually, Chase was forced to leave the show after yelling the N-word during a heated argument on set. Later, co-star Donald Glover would confirm that Chase would make frequent prejudicial jokes or insults between scenes, trying to get Glover to crack or perform poorly. The behavior that cost Chevy both SNL and Community was present throughout his entire career and frankly, his personal life too. It'd take too long to go through every single instance, but some include, Chris Columbus quit directing National Lampoon's Vacation before a single day of filming, because he had one dinner with Chevy where he was treated like dirt. On the cast of Community, he told a female cast member, "I want to live you and rope you." His wife Jacqueline Carlin divorced him after just over a year, due to him making rope threats against her. During a stunt in Three Amigos, Chase made a joke about director John Landis's lax safety precautions after his last film. The film in question? The Twilight Zone, where a stunt gone wrong unalived a man and 2 children. Kevin Smith met with him to discuss relaunching the popular Fletch series, where Chevy went on to claim he invented every funny thing that ever happened in the history of not just comedy, but also the known world. That one lunch ended any possibility of the series. Rob Hubel, a fan of Chase's, approached him backstage to shake his hand, upon which Chase slapped him hard across the face. Yvette Nicole Brown was asked who she would kick off Community if she could, and answered with Chevy Chase before the interviewer even finished the question. She, along with Glover, has noted Chase's stream of prejudice towards them even before yelling the N-word.